Hi, my name is host Eric, Oakland Athletics fan and commentator on the proposed rule change in Major League Baseball to require of Major League starting pitchers a minimum of 6 innings or 100 pitches or 4 runs given up. When I first heard of this rule, I told the person who mentioned it that cannot possibly be right and insisted he was full of nonsense, only to discover that indeed they are proposing a required 6 innings for a starting pitcher. And their rationale for doing so is that they want to restore the prestige of the starting pitcher. So, my first response to this is that's not a meaningful outcome, restore the prestige of. But as I've thought about it more, I've got some additional thoughts I'd like to share. Number one, it's interesting to think of it in terms of a corollary. With position players, the game can be confident. MLB's managing board or whatever it is, commissioner of baseball, um, they can be confident that in normal circumstances, a manager will always leave an outfielder in for most of the game unless he gets injured. And if they're going to pinch hit for him, it's going to be late in the game. They want to have their best option out there for the majority of the game. There's never going to be a situation where teams start consistently playing one outfielder for 3 innings, the next for 3 innings, or whatever. I'm not sure if there's necessarily a vested interest in preventing that, but nevertheless. So I suspect that what baseball is doing is acknowledging that pitchers are being treated differently than they used to be treated, and the staff as a whole is turning into just one big bullpen of middle relievers. And they don't want that. So, in other words, they want those roles more clearly defined. And so, in conjunction with rule changes some years back that required a relief pitcher to face a minimum of batters, it used to be before that if a manager wanted to put a reliever in for just one batter, that was fine. They could do that. So I think the initial foray into defining the roles in baseball, in the rules of baseball, right? Defining the roles in baseball, in the rules of baseball, has taken more of a front seat in the thinking of the people behind baseball. And as I've thought about this proposed rule change more, I like it. And I recognize that I don't like the idea of a pitching staff being just comprising a bunch of pitchers who are used whenever at the manager's discretion as a strategy of managing a bunch of arms. It diminishes the role of specific personalities or people or individuals. It creates fewer stars, and it leaves room for fewer types of players, I guess you could say. Anyway, so I like that proposed rule change. I think they should do it. And Putty Cat, I am sorry for being unfairly stubborn with you about your correct the description of the rule change that you gave me, which is exactly what everybody else is saying. Like forcing them to go 6 innings or requiring them to go 6 innings. So have a nice day, and hopefully you agree with me about the proposed rule change in baseball.